Diaz Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Buy up, buy up, buy up. And in Menudo Style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all. So that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. And it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled. And I'm very much so appreciative, man. I know I couldn't do this without you. So thank you. Gracias. Big Flaco, right? I did a video the other day and I was questioning, what he was going to do. What he was going to do, man. A lot of people got at me and they said, man, I could hear the distaste or the hatred you have for this individual. And they were so far, they were reaching, homie. They were so far away from what I'm thinking, the mentality I have. I'm on some new campaign shit. I'm on some being part of the solution, not the problem stuff, right? And when I see somebody that I know personally locked up facing a gaggle of time, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. Okay, now me and Flaco, let's be real. No added preservatives here. We did have ups and downs. We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, right? I pushed off away from him, okay? And there was reasons behind that. Sometimes when people's caca becomes your caca, you don't like smelling it because shit stinks, right? And for whatever reason, as a man, you have to think about you and yours first, okay? That doesn't mean turning your back on a homeboy and leaving him out by himself. But when he makes his bed, he has to lay in it, homes. I don't lay in beds with men. So that's just what it is. So I distanced myself and did what I was going to do. We'll just keep it like that. But Flaco's facing a whole gang of time. Okay? And according to what he put out on his channel, you could tell it was on his mind. It was weighing heavy on his mind. Now, for those that watched his channel, for those that watched him from back in the days on a convict's perspective up until the point that he got incarcerated, locked up, you could see the decline, the rapid decline. You could see it happening. And there's those of us behind the scenes that know a little bit more than others and have only tried to assist Avato's mentality, by doing what we do. And it seemed like trying to help only hurt more. Only, his mind state wasn't all there. I'll just say that. But anyways, he put out a while back that if he was locked up, when he went to go do his time, if he had to do some time on his case, and he was pretty optimistic towards the end there that, the case that he was fighting, that he had action at beating it. And from a distance, I would watch and say, wow, you need some good representation. You need a good lawyer. You need to start grinding and get some feria and get you some good legal advice because, going to YouTube for your legal advice and a whole bunch of jailhouse lawyers ain't going to help you in this situation. This is one of those situations where you have to really grind and go out there and get it so that way you could establish a legal defense because, when you're a fugitive, you make national news. Everybody's looking for you. People are making videos about you on YouTube, about your alleged crime. And then you're fighting this case, and I was surprised that he even made it out the first time. But I know the bail game is real. Some people got it like that to get bailed out. Some don't. I never had it like that. No one ever bailed me out. They left my ass in there to rot. And I would tell my gente, hey, just leave me in here. I got more time than money. I was on my frog color shit, right? I got way more time than money. But I understand, when you get out, I've had homeboys in that position that were bailed out and they got straight to the pavement, man. They were out there grinding, hustling, trying to set them up a defense and making sure their family was straight before they got locked up. Because let's be cut and dry. Let's be real here. Here's some knowledge you can't get in college. 9 times out of 10, you're guilty as fuck. The crime you're accused of, you done did that. So the smart thing to do, the intelligent thing to do is try to figure out some loopholes, a way to defend yourself to those charges, but also You start establishing a network with your family, your friends, saying your goodbyes, letting everyone know you're going to go sit down for a minute, to keep shit rocking out there, to keep your name alive. That's what I would do. That's what I've seen a lot of homeboys do. I remember a homeboy, he caught a Fed case, right? It always tripped me out. I remember he got caught. We were all like, damn, that's the big homie right there, man. And he caught his Fed case. And then it was a few days later. Or maybe a week or two later. He was in the county jail. And they took him to the federal part, to the federal building because he had Fed charges. Next thing you know, motherfuckers, I'm asleep. And we all shared a pad, man. It was his pad and his old lady. And they let me, his brother, and another homeboy stay there. We were all parolees. We're all fucked up, right? We didn't care. We used to call ourselves the parole squad. We'll violate your ass, right? We was out there fucking beating people up, selling drugs. We got out with the mentality out of YA just to go stupid, to crash out on everybody. We felt some type of way. So anyways, I remember I'm asleep and this motherfucker just jumps on the bed like that, like a caveman. What's happening, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Who'd you tell on to get out, right? And he's like, nah, they gave me 10 days to get my affairs in order. And then I got to turn myself in and go to, and go do my time. And I was like, they do that? I wasn't aware that the feds did that, but they did in his case for whatever reason. So he did. He got his affairs in order. He went out there hustling on the block, collecting all his money, making some big moves, wearing shower shoes, and went into prison comfortably. Was able to go into prison and do his time and make sure his old lady was straight, make sure that the pad was straight, paid his bills, paid his rent like for a year. I mean, just did everything he needed to do as a man to take care of his family to the best of his capabilities. Now, of course, the main thing in life is being there with your family. Sometimes that's better than feria. Sometimes just being in the presence of your children and your children having you there means more than money. But let's be real here. Money ain't bad either, right? So he took care of that and then he went and did his time. He got out straight, everything straight. We kept the flame lit for him, and whatever little bills he couldn't afford, believe me, his old lady was at the door wanting that, right? So Flaco, I would hope that he would get his stuff together, but it seemed like he was doing the reverse, right? It seemed like he was crashing out, and here's a conversation I had with him that I'm going to let you guys know behind the scenes. When Flaco first decided to move out of state, we used to chop it up back then. And I'm talking about like real life. I'm talking about, so there was this native chick that I was talking to. I'd been talking to her for about a month, and all of a sudden one day she texts me and she's like, hey, do you have a homeboy named Flaco? And I was like, why? What happened? She was like, well, he texted me. Right? He got at me on Facebook or whatever it was, Instagram, and he asked if he could have a conversation with me. And I was like, oh, dirty dick ass motherfucking behind the back snake culebra ass dude, right? Trying to undercut what I got going on, right? So, but I'm not that type of individual. I'm the type that I'll watch you from a distance, like, all right. And then the moment that you do me dirty, then I'm gonna do you dirtier, right? So I was like, then Flaco calls me about 5 minutes after she texts me, hey, bro. Hey, I got at that chick that you're talking to. Is that all right, bro? Nothing like that. He was being real. He was like, nothing like that. I just need some advice. I'm dating a native chick right now, and she's native, and I want to he just kind of wanted to know how native chicks are, right? And I was like, yeah, ponle, go ahead, bro. Now that he was real, it is what it is. It's just a chick anyways. I ain't never gonna, it's bros before hoes. I mean, I ain't never gonna trip over a chick, but I was though, lightweight. So anyways, they they converse, right? And so he gets at me and she gets at me, and the same story. She's like, man, wow, he was asking me all kinds of shit about native chicks. I said, he's dating one. He kind of just wants to know what it is. He's kind of trying to figure the woman out. So anyways, about a couple months later, he tells me, hey, bro, I've decided to move out of state and to get with it. He didn't tell me nothing about marrying nobody or nothing like that. That was his business. But I was like, you got a good thing going where you're at, bro. I don't know the circumstances of your relationship. Like, you're a man, Holmes, you do your own thing. But from my perspective on it, you got a good thing going with your son and with your family. And do you want to fuck it off over a chick that I don't know how long ago. I'm not going to sit here and say you just met her over a cold bowl of soup that didn't taste good. I didn't know. But I was like, think about what you're doing. You always got to think about, the situation you're placing yourself in Can you trust that other person? Do you really know them? Even in a relationship, do you truly know a person? Do they have your best intentions at heart, right? So I hit him with all the bamboozles and the, you know what I mean, in the game. You know, I was Dr. Felipe for a minute there, and I really had him thinking like, yeah, maybe you're right. But then the Vato did his thing anyways, and right from that moment, man, I could tell it was bad. It was a bad situation he placed himself in, and I'm not talking shit about, you know, his woman or nothing like that. I'm just saying it was a tricky move, right? So to me, that was the catalyst of his decline. That moment right there, I started to notice, you know, he was out of character, and then I pushed away. That's when I decided, you know what, bro, I'm not gonna, you know, there's already all kinds of bullshit that people talk about, and you know, I haven't seen no paperwork on it, you know, and then when I did, I was like, wow, and then just a whole bunch of different things. But to be truthfully honest with you, I just didn't want to see someone fall apart, right? That's not good for anyone's mental. So I backed up. Let me do my own thing. And there was some back and forth there, some riff-raff shit that happened, some argumentative stuff, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and say I was innocent from going back and forth, because I did that. You know, I felt some type of way. I felt like the Vato was jealous of what I had going on, man. So we had some arguments. I'll say that, you know what I mean? But he wasn't my chick. He wasn't my highness, and I hardly argue with gentlemen, right? With strangers or men. That's not my thing. I think men that argue amongst other men, you know, it's like, damn, Holmes, that's some domestic violence shit. So I didn't want to do that. So anyways, that's the historia right there with Flaco, right? And I continued to watch his channel and you know, from the outside looking in and see the decline. And just recently it got bad, very bad, right? To the point where I was like, damn, you lost 150 pounds, right? I was like, oh shit, what's going on with Big Flox, right? I tell you, I was damn near gonna try to tap in and be like, bro, you know what I mean? I'll send you some whey or some protein or something. I got you. You know what I mean? You need help. And I know it's probably anxiety and stress and whatever else, you know, he concocted, but it was fucked up. Anyways, he said on his channel that he wasn't gonna PC up if he went to prison or if he went to the county jail, that he was gonna ride GP to the fullest, right? And I remember when he did that spill and I laughed, or was alive, and I was like, this Vato, let's be real here. You're in trouble. Doesn't matter what southwestern state you go to, you are in trouble. Just like I'd be in trouble if I went to certain places just based off my YouTube channel and people not liking me. And that doesn't mean a motherfucker won't fight it out. I'll fight it out, right? But you're going to find out that any situation you place yourself in, there's going to be repercussions. So I was like, to sit here and antagonize the gente and say, you know what, I ain't no sucker, man. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's cool. I don't think anyone ever thought he was a sucker, right? But at the same time, you're now testing the abilities of other men. You're now saying, hey, Holmes, I'll go wherever I want, do whatever I want. You ain't damn thing you're going to do about it. Now, you can't word it like that. You have to watch the way you word things nowadays, because people will pull up and do their thing. You know, if you're a man, and yeah, as men, we're going to go wherever they put us and have to figure it out, figure a way out. You know, George in the jungle. Go out there, I'm going to come out with a lion, wearing a lion's cape, right? That's just how you do it. But to antagonize people, and people do that nowadays. That's the thing. I'll go to your hood. I'll pull up. You ain't going to do shit. Bah! He's dead. What happened? I don't know. They did shit, right? That's just how it is. Never test people. You know, especially in this era we live in, man, people hate that shit. You try to test them, you're going to fail the test. You got an F. What's the F mean? It means you're fucked. That's it. Straight up. So anyways, he was saying that, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was like, yeah, right. Come on, Big Flox. Let's keep it real, bro. You were going to go in there and they're going to see your jacket. They're going to see whatever you got going on, and they're going to place you in the most comfortable area as possible. But I was wrong. And I'll admit I was wrong. You know, Flaco is not, he actually refused protective custody. He is not, he's in general population. Ladies and gentlemen, that Vato, I don't know if that Vato's on full fucking Julio crash out mode, right? Or that Vato is just fucking doesn't give a shit, man. Or he's just with the business like that, you know? And he's actually, because they have towers over there. And I'm not going to break down exactly what kind of jail. You got to do your homework, right? But in the county jail he's in out of state, they have like tower facilities or tower buildings or whatever. And he's actually on the tower where the most heavy hitters are, where the worst of the worst, where people that have done prison time and that are like basically they compare it to the level 4s in California prisons, right? That's where he's at. Straight up, he refused to go to protective custody. He wants to go where the big boys play. I heard about an incident, the other day with Flaco, and like I said, I don't know the details on it or if it even really happened. This is coming from a person that's kind of unreliable, but they're saying, no, this is the truth. And I haven't heard no one deny it. But I will say this, my respects go out to that Vato for whatever reason. Do I think he's making the right moves? He's making the moves that best facilitate his life. He's making his moves as a man. Can't do nothing but respect it. I'm not surprised. I am, but I'm not. Okay, I'm surprised that knowing everything that goes on with Flaco, that he would take that risk with his life, right? But I respect it. I respect him for being a man of his word and handling and going in there and rising to the occasion. Maybe that's just where they placed him and he really had no choice. But for whatever reason, that's where he's at. So he is not in protective custody. In fact, he refused that. That's some gangster shit. Got to give it to that man, no matter if you like him or not. Don't matter. That goes to show all these people that talk shit about DOs and this and this and that. You don't know, man. He's still a man. He's still a human, right? And I knew that Flaco had it in him as far as he wasn't no sucker, no punk, man. I knew that from the gate. I used to see him go back and forth with people, on the internet, and I used to be like, damn, these guys better watch out. They don't know. Not only is Flaco damn near 9 feet tall, but this Vato's fucking, he has heart, right? He definitely has that heart. That's a fact. So, I remember we were doing some filming. I remember we were doing some filming. I'm just thinking, I'm not making shit up. I'm just thinking. We were doing some filming, interviewing people, street people or whatever. And it was in downtown Portland, man. We were on our way to Seattle. It was a few years back. And we were doing the road trip thing and going up there. And fucking, we hit a corner. And for those of you that don't know that city of Portland, man, it's like very liberal. They got a lot of like protesting and shit going on. And this was about the time the Black Lives Matter. And they just had all kinds of shit going on. I think that Breonna Taylor, I think it was that her name? Had just been killed, and they were having a Breonna Taylor march, Black Lives Matter, whatever. We didn't know shit about that. But as soon as we hit, and we had went to, there you have strip clubs everywhere there. We had went to a strip club downtown, and we had sipped some drinks. Man, we're all at the strip club like at 11 o'clock in the day. Real talk, right? Maniacos. And we're drinking fucking beer. We're buzzing, right? I remember I had a few Coronas on. I got a little buzz, but Flaco, he was slamming them, right? He's a big dude. He was slamming them. He had a straight buzz. And when we came out, we hit a couple corners. You're like downtown. We hit a couple corners, and there was fucking, they were doing the We Are the People, right? The Black Lives Matter march. Wasn't no black lives, though. It was all white people doing it. And I was like, brother, press the coffee, right? And so there was just a bunch of woods. And this was the time COVID shit, we were wearing masks and whatever. And I had my mask on. Flaco had this pulled down under his nose, and this lady came up like fucking straight on Karen shit. She was screaming at Flaco, right? She was a little small lady, and her old man was like pushing a stroller, and they were just fucking, it was crazy out there. And she's screaming, and I can't really hear her because it's loud. People are chanting whatever they're chanting. And Flaco kind of leans in, and he has his mask right here. His nose is exposed. She's like, put your fucking mask on. You're going to get us all sick. She's just going crazy. And Flaco's like, man, shut up, man, before I beat your old man up, right? And I see the guy get all scared, and they push off. And I was like, oh, fucking Flaco's a nut, right? He's crazy. But the way he conducted himself, I respected that, because he could have told the lady, he could have got crazy with the lady and wolfed back and forth. He just is like, man, shut up. I'll beat your old man up. Straight up, right? Went straight to the man. That's old school convict mentality. I'm not going to argue with the woman. What am I going to get out of it? You got to respect women. But I'll beat your old man up. He can get it, though, And that dude didn't want no smoke. He pushed on quick, right? Later on that day, this was when I really knew. I said, this motherfucker's with the program. We were walking, and the mask I was wearing, it says Supreme, right? It was a Supreme mask. It was a red Supreme mask, the brand Supreme. and we were walking through this. I don't know. It looks like a quad area. I don't know what it is, right? But we were walking through, and there was 3 dudes, and these guys were they were all what's that shit called, Antifa, right? They were some militant type. They were against fucking nationalism or whatever it was. I don't know. I'm not into the politics shit like that, but I know that they were walking, and I was walking, and me and Flax were walking, and they kind of were just staring at me, and I felt it. So I was like, "What's up, man?" They're like, "What's up with your mask?" I said, "What the fuck's up with my mask? This is a designer mask, a fake designer mask, right? What's up with you guys?" And they were like, "Whoa," they were getting crazy. I was like, "Man, we can do whatever, right?" Flaco jumped in like, "What's happening?" Right? They seen a big old giant. They were like, "Ain't nothing happening." And that was it. They kept it pushing. I was like, "That's right." Flaco was like, he was down to get it. And so I respected that. I respected that, man. I always thought about that, even when we used to go back and forth on the internet and he'd make rap songs about me and all that shit. I used to think, man, I remember that day that he was willing to fight side by side for something that didn't even involve him, right? Didn't even involve me either. They were tripping off my mask because they thought it said Supreme White Power or something like that, but it didn't. It said fucking Supreme. But they could throw whatever twist they want on it. They'd have got their ass whooped anyway, either way. The gist of this is, man, my prayers are for Flaco. For those that were saying, you know, "Hey, Gun," I could see the disdain you have for him. I don't hate that dude. I ain't never hated that dude. I don't like that dude, but I don't hate that dude. Do you understand that? Can you read between the lines there? There's been a lot said between us, man. There's been a lot done, and I can never get over that, man. I just got to push away and be. But I pray for that guy, man. I lit a candle for him, man. I hope that, you know, he's able to get back to his fan band, and I hope that whatever decisions he makes in there, they're the right ones. You can't make decisions based on emotions, or you can't make decisions based on, you know, you want to prove something to someone. That's the problem with society. That's the problem in prisons and jails, on the streets, with these rappers, all these gang members. Everyone's trying to prove something to another man, trying to be the cool guy. At the end of the day, being cool will get you smacked. Straight up. You ain't got to be cool anymore, man. Just do you. Just do you, and more people will respect you. You'll notice that. With that being said, you know, Flaco didn't PC up, man. That Vaulta's on the main line. He's actually in the worst place. I got at someone, or someone got at me. Excuse me. They got at me from the AZ area, from where he's at, and they told me straight up, "Hey, bro, where he's at?" And I looked it up. They said, "Where he's at, it's dangerous right there, bro. It's treacherous. Like, he's in the most violent spot." That Vaulta's crazy. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I honestly, truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. You know, stop hating on a man because you don't like his past. You know what I'm saying? And uplift people and teach people not to go that route, so they don't have to get put in a position to do what allegedly Flaco supposedly did. I'm just saying. The Gun.